Hello class, today I'm going to walk you through the Business Model Canvas. You can find this presentation, it's called the Lean Method and BMC Slide Deck presentation in your Schoology Unit 1 folder. Alright, so normally back in the day we used to write out these big long business plans that people would spend months and months and months trying to write and go back and forth. Well, now what we do is we try to simplify the process by creating this Business Model Canvas, filling out this canvas quickly, efficiently, and then as we make changes to our business, we update our business model by just taking an eraser and erasing and adding and changing as we move through. And the reason why we keep it simple is because we want to talk to the customer up front, identify that they have a problem. And so the first thing we do is we identify the problems, wants, and needs of each customer segment. And then what we do is we come up with the alternatives. We list how they solve those today by looking at what the competitors are doing. So this is important because once we kind of identify the problem, how the problem is being met, then we go talk to those customers and we see how bad is the problem. And if the problem is painful enough, then we could then move forward with our business model. If it's not that big of a problem and it's not that big of a deal, then they won't move on in the process. Once we do that, we identify the customer segment. So we're kind of doing that at the same time as we're identifying the problem. We're listing who has the problem. So that's your customer segment box. It's your target user and customers who will purchase it over and over again. These are your early adopters who will purchase it or use it first. So here's an example of a problem. I have, there's 5 of us in the family, and when one of my sons gets bit by mosquitoes, his whole leg and arms swell up. He has a big bump, and that bump will stay there and bother him for like days at a time. And so we always put cortisone on, and then we just wait, and he itches it, and it's a huge problem. And so we were watching Shark Tank one night, and this person came on, and they came up with this thing called the bug bite thing. So here's the bug bite thing, and we haven't really gotten bit yet. We've been good with our bug spray and staying out, but basically it's a 3-step process. You just put the thing on the skin, you push it down, and it pulls the suction and suctions out all the bad stuff, and you hold it for 20 seconds, and then the bug bite doesn't swell up as bad. So pretty interesting concept, pretty simple. And so this was a problem. It is a painful problem when you get bit and you're allergic to mosquitoes. You're just uncomfortable for a few days and just watching them. Like he'll get bit on the leg. It looks like he's got a third knee. It's wild. And so then once you find out who your target users are of the product, you want to see if they'll purchase it first. So very, very simple, very cool, easy packaging needs. So if you do have issues with bug bites, you want to look up the bug bite thing. All right, so moving on, once we kind of identify those 2 things, we start talking to the customer. Then what we're going to do is we're going to build the solution, outline how we're going to solve each problem with the top 3 features. This is our product or service idea that we come up with. And so we go back and talk to the customer that identified this as a problem, and that customer helps us build the solution. And once we build that solution, we list the top features here. And then what we do is we create a benefit statement. This is the list of benefits you provide through features in order to create value to the customer and help solve the problem. So this is very important to write a very unique value proposition, because it's kind of how you're different from your competitors that you identified over here in the customer problem segment. You're really showing, how you are different either with your product or service. Cost structure and revenue streams comes later in the year, but basically we talked a little bit about fixed costs. We talked a little about variable costs. So in today's assignment, you can tackle this a little bit. It doesn't hurt to kind of think about what some of the costs will be. And remember, we identify cost as the business. So this is your outgoing cash. Don't refer to it as what it costs the customer to buy the product. The cost, the amount that your customer gives you, that's your revenue stream. So list your sources of revenue here. Then you want to connect with how will you connect to and communicate with your customers. So how will you do that? What are you going to do? Is it going to be emails? Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be advertising through the newspaper? Depending upon whoever your customer segment is, how are you going to communicate with them? And then where are you going to get them to buy your product? Where is this location going to be? How are they going to purchase your solution? What are the channels at which you're going to communicate with your customer. And finally, after you plan communication, then you're going to iterate. This is where you come up with your key numbers to measure how you're going to do with your business. And so it's kind of the measurements that you create and develop. So there's different examples like total number of customers, total number of hours worked, whatever it is you're looking to measure. Every business needs to keep themselves accountable. They need to have data to see how they're doing. So the key metrics that you kind of come up with to measure whether or not your business is successful or not is very, very important. So a lot of businesses, they look at foot traffic, a number of customers that come into the store on a daily basis. And so let's say they want to increase that number, but then they also want to increase, well, what is the average amount a customer will spend then within the store? How do we get them to buy more? In some presentation I heard today, one of the students says, we'll put the cash register in the back of the store. That way they have to walk through the entire store and see everything. So how long they're in your store, what do they see in your store, the foot pattern, all that is extremely important. You see it in grocery stores. They put the milk in the back of the store because they want you to walk down all the aisles to get to it because they know a lot of people are going to buy milk. So those high purchase items are definitely in the back. And then they put the heavy margin stuff kind of in the middle, the stuff you're walking by, and then they put the low but highly impulse items on the way out. So this is the business model canvas. Save this video, refer back to it. You're now going to use this to kind of do the assignment today. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to read this article first on Bucket Feet. Then you're going to go to threadless.com, Bucket Feet, and also the About Us, and kind of read a little bit more about Bucket Feet. And then once you kind of do that, and you're going to do this on your own today, once you're done doing that, you're going to fill in the business model canvas based on Bucket Feet. And you need to bring this to class tomorrow because you will be talking through it with some other class members on either Thursday or Friday, depending on cycle day. So this is kind of your assignment for the day, is to kind of go through, understand the business model canvas, look at an example, and then take that example business, and you're going to go in and you're going to kind of fill it all in here. All right, guys, good luck. And I'm in the room, so if you have any questions, just let me know.